Hey there, Tiny Bandits. Welcome. My name is CR and I am both a filmmaker and a game developer. Welcome to my game development series. In this series, I'll take you through the process of creating my game step by step. So what am I working on? Well, I am developing a game inspired by Metroid Prime. For those unfamiliar with Metroid Prime, it's a first-person shooter released back in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube. It combines elements of exploration, puzzle solving and storytelling, and even after 20 years, its recent remaster shows that it remains absolutely a masterpiece. So back to my game. My project will incorporate similar mechanics, including puzzles and combat sequences. However, it will be set thousands of years in the past, and it will draw from Mesoamerican mythology. Our protagonist is a young boy named Teska who will gain godlike powers as the story progresses. While future Dev Diaries will focus on story and character development, these Devlog series will be more technical. Alright guys, welcome! Today I'll be showing you the lock system for the game, the LockOn system. But before we dive in, I'd like to do a quick recap. And in the last devlog we created a HUD with some widgets. Let's test them out for a quick recap. So here you see the health bar, and it gets depleted when I cross over these hazardous items. And of course we've made a health pack so your health can increase as you pick them up. And as you can see, yes, it works. And these were the rocket packs, as you can see on the right corner, underneath right corner of the screen. The rocket widget displays 0 rockets. So let's get some rocket packs. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. As you can see, it capped at 5. So we have a cap of 5, and as the game progresses, you can increment them maybe to 10, 15, 20, etc. But they're not unlimited, as you can see. Alright, and of course we're going to test them out. I don't have a beefy PC, so it's lagging because I'm also recording this. Alright, when it catches up to the buffer, you can see there's almost no delay, but I did see some screen tearing. Anyway, so yeah, that was from last time's devlog. And today we'll be focusing on the LockOn. So just like in Metroid Prime, the gameplay system has a LockOn feature. This is to lock on items, lock on enemies, and that's exactly what I've made. And I love this style of gameplay because it enables you to have a direct focus on an item or enemy, and this changes your style of play. As you can see, we have a lock on. If I press the button, I'm locked on to this item, and I can, let's say, how do you say, walk around it, and it stays in the center of the screen. I can go that way, but that is, I have to keep the lock on button pressed. Once I release it, there is no lock on. I can just revert anywhere. But once I press the lock on, as you can see, and when I move the left stick button, if I'm correct, yeah, left stick button, then it stays in center. And this is because what the LockOn system does is it takes how do you say, it takes a hold of the camera, of the player's camera, so you can still walk around and jump around, as you can see, but the camera stays focused on the object, item, or whatever, and I'm still holding the lock on button, and I can move a little bit up or down with the right joystick, which is mostly to control the camera. I can tilt a bit up, I can tilt a bit down, but that's it. You can also do left, right, but it remains in focus. And that's a beautiful aspect of this kind of gameplay, is you can have incredibly intense battles, and with the lock-on system you can lock on to items, objects, etc., you name it. So that's a big part of Metroid Prime's gameplay, and also my own video game. Yeah, that's what it does. And once I release the button, you know, the lock-on system disappears. So the mechanics is you go either to an item, or let's say, I don't know, this big box. So I always look at it, and you know, you don't necessarily have to look at it. I mean, it locks on to the nearest object or enemy or item. As you can see there, it's locked on, and if you keep it pressed, it stays locked on, and the widgets appear. Now these are the lock-on widgets, showing you that, hey, this item, enemy, object, you name it, is now the main focus, and the system stays locked on to the target. And I can walk around, I can jump, I can go, you know, forward, backwards, left, right, but it stays. In future devlogs, what I will be doing is I will be further developing this lock-on system, but for now this is the simple lock-on system. Alright, let's dive into the code. So how the lock-on system works is that it does a line trace, and it checks for potential targets that it's finding, and it can be an item, it can be an enemy, or whatever. And Unreal Engine has a built-in tag system. I will be showing you right now. For example, if I go to my base item, for example, it has a tag system lockable, which means the lock-on system can detect, okay, this is an item, and it's within the tag system. I've named it lockable, so yes, I can lock on to it. Same goes for enemies. I'll show you. Where's my base enemy? There it is. And let me see. There. The tags is enemy. So this is how it can detect whether something is lockable or not. It looks for potential targets. All these targets have tags. If they don't have tags, it will not be lockable. And if there's if it's a potential target that it can be locked on, it will be locked on to that. I've also added a lock-on sound because I want to make a cool effect, cool sound effect whenever you're into the lock-on gameplay system. And what it also does is, of course, you know, it controls the camera during the lock-on. Now, furthermore, let's talk a little bit about the widget that's been displayed. Let me go back to showing it again. Again, sorry for the lag on the game, because I'm recording and I'm doing Unreal both, and sometimes it's just lagging because I don't have a beefy computer. It's I'm doing everything on a laptop. Anyway, as you can see, the widgets appear, and these widgets they are of the style that I would like it to be. And again, but it's not going to be the final UI widget, even though it does give me a direction. These are all placeholders, and thank you for everyone that's been kind enough to comment about the UI. And I think most of them don't really like the UI, and I can totally understand why. Again, thank you so much for the feedback. So I will be working on the UI. So keep in mind, these are all placeholders. So yeah, what it does, these widgets, I've made them in with the help of AI. And again, I've done a video about how to create these widgets with the help of AI. So please check out that video. It might be of help to you. And so I've brought them into Unreal, and they're always hidden, of course. And whenever there is a potential target, such as this, which has a tag, and if I lock on, press the lock on button and keep it on, pressed on, it will display. And when I release it, it goes away. Press it, keeping it hold, pressing it, holding it, releasing it. It's very simple, but very effective. Yeah. So again, going back, everything that you would like to use, you have to reference it in code, and that's what I've been doing it. And I've made some functions which enable me to, for say, let's say, change the color, the size, opacity, and making it visible or invisible. And the lock-on system also has a range. I can adjust the range. Where was it here? Lock-on range 1500F, and I should be putting this in the constructor. But anyway, you can see it. So let me go through it once again. We have a lock-on system, and this lock-on system works through the crosshair aim widget. It detects potential targets such as items, enemies, objects, etc. Once it detects these objects, items, enemies, for a tag, then it knows, okay, this item, enemy, or object can be locked onto. And then when you press and hold the lock-on button, then the camera stays focused on the selected target, and you can basically walk around and it stays locked on to the target. That's what it does. And during the lock-on, these widgets appear, and when you release them, the lock-on button, they will disappear. So yeah, that's all the lock-on system. And again, the way I will be using it in the game is, for example, you have lots of objects, items. This is a way of knowing how to interact with the world. This is the simple basic version of the lock-on system, and it works, and I'm happy with it. And as we further develop the game, it will become much more developed and a bit more tactical, I would say. But yeah, that's for today. Alright guys, on the next game devlog, we'll be covering exciting stuff. We'll be focusing mainly on world objects, interactable objects, and hazardous objects, so I can't wait. That's it for today's devlog. I hope you found it insightful and that you're as excited about this project as I am. There's a lot to cover and many more updates to come as we continue on this game development journey together. Thank you for tuning in. My name is CR, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.